everyone, it's Bethany from Beth and Books and welcome back to this book nook. Today it's chill. I've got like my go-to oversized jumper because today I'm coming at you with my school holiday TBR. Now, here in New Zealand we have 2 weeks off between term 2 and term 3, which is what we are up to. Currently it's the last week of school, it's still a school day. But I went to the library and I have a whole bunch of books. A few holds came in and I'm ready to refresh this basket. Now let me hold this up for you. If you saw my last Will Chooses TBR, these might be familiar. I have just come out of a big reading slump thanks to Gunslinger. If you saw my Media Freakout tag, you'll know all about that whole experience. And it's been a while since I've just chosen the books I want to read without the help of the old wheel here. So she's just going to sit there and chill out and have a breather. And I'm just going to show you the TBR, some books that I want to get to. Not necessarily expecting to read all of these in 2 weeks, but just my next TBR pile of books I just chose because they've been on my radar and I want to get to them. Just quickly going through the ones I don't want to get to that are going back on my shelf. I've got the Essex Serpent, Henry James's Turn of the Screw, Lisa Coe's The Leavers, and Maggie Staybader's All the Crooked Saints. Alright, but on with the books I do want to read. Boba. Alright, let's bring the Read Me basket over here in frame so we can see that. I'll start with the books I got out. Should I? No, let me start with, I'm finishing Will Grayson. I am 75 pages of the way through this. Also guys, I am shattered, so I'm really sorry if my energy comes off as a little bit low. I am ready to sink into some books. So I'm going to try finish this. I say try because I'm not loving it and I don't have the energy to read books that I'm not enjoying. So this one might be DNF'd. We'll see. Keep an eye out on my Instagram stories. Let's start with the 2 holds that came through. Finally going to read Heartstopper. I am so excited for this. Coming out of a bit of a reading slump, it just looks like the perfect cutesy little book and it has been on hold for a hot minute. This is a boy meets boy romance, I was going to say manga, but no, graphic novel. I'm hoping I have a good experience with this. I've mentioned in the past when I've picked up graphic novels, I really struggle to give them 5 stars simply because somehow the stories don't flow as well for me. But there's so many raving good reviews about this, I had to pick it up. And then the other one I got my hands on is At Your Age, Eve Brown. This is book 3 in the Brown Sisters trilogy by, I always forget her first name, Talia Hibbert. And I have absolutely loved book 1 and 2. Book 1 I gave 4.5 stars, book 2 I gave 5 stars, and they helped me out of my reading slump. Again, just bolstering up to my Insta. Have a follow if you want, because I did a reading vlog through stories and I read the first 2 books in the series. It is saved, so if you want to go see that, go have a peek. But I loved the first 2 books. The diversity and the romance in these books is absolutely amazing. Just a heads up though, it is definitely adult. I know a few people picked it up thinking it was more, knowing it was adult but not realising how adult it was, if the reviews are anything to go by. So heads up for this one. This one is about the younger sister, so we start with the older sister, get younger. They're a really fun read. All of these books I picked up keeping in mind I didn't want anything too big, too daunting, and ones that I genuinely thought I was really going to love for some reason or another. Speaking of those, My Sister the Serial Killer, she's short, but apparently she's really, really good. You've probably heard of, I'm just having a quick look, almost all of these. I'm just getting to books that seem to be pretty popular. This one I've been wanting to read for so long and it was just miraculously on the shelf. I swear someone's always borrowing it whenever I pop into the library. So this is about our sister called, I need someone to help me with the pronunciation / I should look it up. Coreed's Dinner. Coreed, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering their name, her sister essentially calls her up saying she's killed another boyfriend, and Karida's constantly cleaning up her sister's murder victims. There we go. My brain is so fried, guys. I just really want to read it. Again, it's short, so I'm hoping it's decently fast-paced. Continuing on with trying to finish series, because that's one of my new goals, to keep working away at finishing series, is Across the Green Grass Fields. This is the latest book in Sean Maguire's series, and I've really had mixed thoughts throughout them. I don't think any of them have gotten less than 3 stars. I think one got 3 stars and the rest are in the 4 to 5 star range. And I just really love how swept up in the world I can get. My favourite ones are when we visit different places and when the characters have a real connection with each other. And Seanan often manages to do that really well with novella-esque length novels. So I can't say much without spoiling things, but if you want some short books which are quite mystical and fun, but still have important messages, have a look at those. And then I'll show you another sequel I picked up. This is The Masked City. If you saw the vlog I did with Titus, where he chose my TBR, he chose The Invisible Library, book 1, loved it. I said in that vlog, I'm pretty sure I can quote myself as saying along the lines of, "Spit it out, Bethany. This is going to be one of my favourite series ever." I haven't got to book 2 yet, so hopefully these holidays, this next reading experience chapter is going to be the time. Again, I can't say much when it's sequels without spoiling the first books, but essentially it's kind of like a murder mystery whilst trying to collect special sacred texts for the library, which is this place within universes and timelines that records literature throughout the ages. It's a really fun concept. And then this is one, speaking of Titus, he put in, this is The Gunslinger, which is the first book in the Stephen King series. If you're like, "Gal, why are you not reading one of the multiple Stephen Kings you own?" Because Titus wants me to read this one, and it's the first in his big series. I've had mixed thoughts on this. I want to give it my own shot, and also the words and the page count isn't ridiculous. I don't even think it's 300 pages. So again, I'm just hoping I can make my way through these books. Hang on. What is it about? You guys probably know. I don't think I know. Titus just really wants me to read it. Okay, so apparently over 3 decades ago, in real time, like 30 years in human lifetime, Stephen King introduced readers to the extraordinarily compelling and mysterious Roland Deschain. Okay, well, I don't know who that is. Okay, so apparently our Roland fella tracks someone, encounters an enticing woman, begins a friendship. Okay, apparently, oh, this is a claim. The Gunslinger is the first book in what is perhaps the greatest odyssey Stephen King has ever written. Has Stephen King written other odysseys? What makes it defined as an odyssey? Anyway, and then I've got a few more books in front of me that are from my own collection that I really want to get to. Again, I recognise that these are a lot of books, but I have another 5 here, which brings this total to 11 books. I do not expect myself to read 11 books in 2 weeks, but that's a thing. I'll show you the one I kind of spoiled there for you. Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Again, starting a series. Oh, I told myself I wouldn't start any more series until I got my current series down to 10. But I don't listen to myself. Assassin's Apprentice. This is book 1 in the Farseer series, I believe. This was originally on my radar due to Peru's Project Reagan over there, who loves Robin Hobb's writing. And I've had some pretty good experiences with adult fantasy this year. For example, the Brandon Sanderson series that I'm only up to book 1 in and should really read book 2, but book 2 is kind of thick and I'm scared of it, and this is smaller, so I'm picking this up instead. I've also started, where is it on my shelf? After that rearrange, I've been really struggling. Oh, The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Again, I haven't gotten to book 2, but they're just chunky, and later in the year, I will get to it, but right now, I'm here. But what I'm saying, in a very convoluted way, is I had a really good experience with those adult series, and so I was like, I'll try pick this one up. Aside from just the recommendations from Reagan often being good for my reading taste, it sounds fascinating. So our king in the, what's the world? The Kingdom of Six Duchies. Essentially fathers a bastard and everyone's like astonished and rah, and the bastard is called Fritz, who is our main character. Fritz is cast aside and raised as an assassin. So I always love that trope of cast aside, raised an assassin figure. I find those characters really interesting to read about, as long as they're not overdone. Like, it's very easy to feel like you've read that character before. I then have To Kill a Kingdom. If it looks shiny, it looks like a library book. It technically was. I'm pretty sure I picked this up from the Red Cross book sale, but I can't really remember. But it's just a young adult fantasy that I see everywhere and have a bit of FOMO and want to read about. I just look at this and I can't summarise it any better. I have a heart for every year I've been alive. There are 17 hidden in the sand of my bedroom. Every so often I claw through the shingle just to check they're still there, buried deep and bloody. And it also sounds like there's a potential enemies to lovers romance in here. And again, I'm just really trying to keep myself reading what makes me happy and continuing to climb out of this reading slump. The two Brown Sisters books helped me with that, but I want to keep going. I then have Boy Meets Boy, which I'm genuinely picking up because it's short, and this is the same author as this. You're like, why are you picking this up, Bethany, when you just said you're not really loving this one? Well, I'm not the biggest fan of John Green, and I'm curious to see how much of David Levithan's writing style is in here compared to what it's like by itself. And again, it's short. I just want it. And it's also another male romance. I'm pretty sure it's a male romance, so it makes sense with the title. And it's 180 pages, so high school angst, lust versus love. I just pop it in my basket. Ooh, but pop it in nicely. Okay. The Queen's Secret, this is one I picked up from Trade Me, and since picking it up, I feel like I keep seeing it popping up on Instagram, or today even I saw it in the library. So let me remind myself what this is about again. That's right. It sounds like a long distance, forced to be ruler romance. So we have someone who's raised into power and she's in love with the kingdom's assassin, and they were together, but then she's forced to become queen for some reason, and then the assassin is forced to go away to like do assassin things. I just thought it might be a fun YA romance fantasy that I might be able to recommend to people if they're looking for something that they might not have heard of. I mean, I just said I've seen it everywhere, but maybe other people haven't. And then lastly, I have an ARC, so an advanced reader copy of #VanLifeMurders. Now, this was given to me by the author, and I'm assuming her publicist. I'll leave a link to her Instagram down below. I mentioned that one thing I wanted to do this year is try to read more ARCs and indie authors, so that's what this is. It's about a woman who decides to I don't think it's right to say give up on her life, but essentially she's had enough of the corporate world, so she gets a van and lives her life. And then she realises that there's been a string of murders of women who live this van lifestyle, and she gets involved and tries to solve it, and I'm assuming just becomes wrapped up in the murder mystery of it. And again, guys, it's just another short one, so I thought it made sense to add to my basket. Hang on, I need to make this all fit. Oh, okay, guys, it's me from the future, and I got more books out from the library. So sorry for interrupting the original me. This was not planned at all. Essentially what happened, team, is after filming the TBR, I read this straight away, so you can kind of take this off my TBR, and I put the rest of the Heartstopper books on hold, and this one came through today, so I went in to get this because I'm so excited for it. Honestly, the first book was so cute, so a little bit of a quick thought there already. Yes, so I went in to pick this one up after school, and at the risk of getting a ticket, because I didn't put any money in the parking fee thingy, and I was just like, oh, I'll be 2 minutes. But at the risk of it, I was like, oh, I'll have a quick browse through the young adult whilst I'm here, because when I went to the library last time, there are a couple of teenagers sitting down blocking the contemporary and the thriller horror area, and I didn't want to be rude and ask them to move. Was I intimidated by a group of teenagers? Yep, I was. So I went back anyway, and I took my time because there were no intimidating teenagers there. And yeah, I got some more books, so I'll go through them. Obviously, I got the second Heartstopper novel. I picked up Obsidio. Now, this definitely breaks the trend of small books from this whole... from this whole TBR video, because obviously this is a chunky boy. However, it's the last book I need to read in this series, and I was just feeling inspired to finish off a series that I've really loved the first 2 books of. Interestingly though, when I went to like self-scan it out, it was like, error, go see somebody about it kind of thing. So I went and talked to a librarian and she got it out for me, and she was like, oh yeah, it pops up if you get a book out twice. So I've gotten this out before, I pretended because I never read it, and then I had to go see a person to check it out. I don't know, weird system, but either way, Obsidio, awesome sci-fi novel. I picked up Sass, I think is how you meant to say it, simply because it's by the same author of The Song of Achilles. I've just seen it everywhere. It was available on the shelf. I just picked it up, and honestly, it didn't look too long or daunting. How long is it? Just over 300 pages, so a standard novel length, and definitely this shone out to me. I actually don't know what it's about. I just picked it up because of the, like, Instagram famousness of it. I'm pretty sure it's like got Greek mythology entwined within. Okay, this one I'm really excited for. It's about mercenary librarians. I talked about this in one of my upcoming books I'm excited for, and this one was just literally sitting there, cover out, when I went to the recently returned shelf in the adult section, and I just grabbed it. To summarise, guys, we've got someone called Nina. She and her team of mercenary librarians use their knowledge to save the hopeless in a dystopian America. Then there's somebody called the Silver Devils, a group called the Silver Devils, and essentially that group and our main character's group somehow clash, and honestly just mercenary librarians, that's all I needed. And also, it is decently short. And then lastly, just a couple more books here. I picked up this Savage Song. See, I thought I'd gotten this one out before, but it didn't make me go up and do it again. This is another Instagram made me pick it up one. I was just feeling in the mood for it. And again, it's Victoria Schwab. And I haven't read any of her YA stuff. I know she's real famous for the Dark Shade Magic series. And I've read book 1 and I do intend to finish that series. But I was just feeling more like trying out her YA style. I don't know anything about it. Oh, yes, that's right. That rings a bell. I picked it up and I looked at the blurb and I was like, what is this about? Kate is essentially, she's been to 6 boarding schools, so there's a school element, which I always love. And then there's a guy called August, who's apparently a monster who can steal souls with a song. And essentially, they possibly help each other out, save the city. I don't know, sounded decent. And then Throwaway Gals, which I first heard about through NetGalley, which is a place you can get free ARCs. I'll throw my video up if you're interested in looking into how you can get yourself some ARCs. And I never got round to reading it on my tablet, and I feel a bit guilty about it. But it is a book I'm really interested about. Essentially, Caroline is 3 months away from graduation. In the meantime, she's keeping her head down. Also, it's a female-female... Oh, gosh, that really washed me out. I'm so pale. Female-female romance until her best friend disappears, and then essentially her... Oh, Glare. Essentially, she's just like, crap. I was so close to graduating without a hitch, but now this has happened. So, getting carried away in that. So, yeah, another 6 books I picked up from the library to add to that massive basket of books. Again, I don't think I will read these all in 2.5 weeks, but I'm excited. Anyway, I don't know what part of the original video I interrupted you in, so I'll just skedaddle and let past me continue. Add to my basket. Hang on, I need to make this all fit. Okay, so this is where I am at. Let me hold it up so Oh, that's actually weightier than I was expecting. So you can see. So these are all the books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If I can read all those within like the 2.5 weeks I have of holiday, I will be mad impressed with myself. I'm just going to say it here. So when I come back to reflect on these, out of them, I think the one I'm going to really love is Assassin's Apprentice. And if there's any I'm a bit iffy about, it's Boy Meets Boy or The Queen's Secret. Those are the ones I'm a bit iffy about. I am scared about not liking Heartstopper, but it is what it is. Alright, if you've read any of these books, leave a comment down below suggesting which one I should get to first and foremost. Like, I'm going to try and at least do one vlog. I know I haven't done one recently, at least from my perspective. I don't know when the last one came out for you guys. Because again, I was in a reading slump. I didn't read. There was nothing to vlog about. So that was a thing. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what I should read, what you want me to show in a reading vlog. Enjoy all the places you go in your own reading adventures and have a great life. What is my outro? I don't know. I need a nap. Bye, guys.